In other national news, St. John's University has introduced a new service scholarship that is targeted nationwide to the children of U.S. police officers, firefighters, and uniformed members of the U.S. military in advance of the scholarship application deadline of January 31st, 2018.
Joining us in the studio today is Browne, who is the Executive Director of the University Relations and Assistant Vice President, Government Relations at St. John's University. Sorry about that, Brian.
Happy to be
Welcome.
here.
Glad you're here.
Good to see you both.
So tell us about this exciting program. And this is different. This is, I haven't heard of this before.
It is, and it's something we're excited about, and we're getting very good feedback already. This is an exciting time of the year. College acceptance letters are going out.
Yep.
And with that excitement comes the conversation about how to finance an education and affordability issues. And at St. John's, we've taken some pretty bold steps, and we've created a service scholarship. And this is a $2,000 annual scholarship, and it's national. So it's across the country, children of firefighters, police officers, uniformed members of the military, active duty, retired, or lost in the line of duty.
Wow.
And this is an annual scholarship, so up to $8,000 over your 4-year course of study. And this is just one step at St. John's where we see ourselves giving back to those who serve.
That's exactly right, giving back. And, you know, as we were thinking about this, we were also thinking of Stephen McDonald, and
Absolutely.
I'm sure that was behind people's minds of how much these people who are in service give.
Absolutely.
And their children.
And their children. And I'll tell you one unintended but happy consequence of this is that if you do the math, the children from 9/11, those who lost their parents, you know, born or unborn, they're coming of college age.
Right.
So those children are going to benefit from this. And at St. John's, like many of our schools here in the Diocese of Rockville Center, we're blessed with many good public and private colleges. You know, parents should be looking at these type of issues and scholarships, and many of them have deadlines coming up, January 31st or mid-February. So there's a lot of different ways to finance a private education here on Long Island, and scholarships like this do help.
Now, have you heard from some of the service people? I mean, I imagine, you know, some of the police officers, firefighters that are part of the St. John's family, they have to be excited about this.
We have, and one of the complaints we've heard is, why now? You know, I'm enrolled. But we had to start somewhere,
Sure.
and we're rolling it out for this class in September 2018. And we've already, of the students who we've accepted, about 7% of that pool of students would qualify for this. And we think it could go as high as up to 10% of our freshman class. So that's a $600,000 investment on the university's part in institutional aid to these families. And many of them are hardworking service people, and we want to give back. And at St. John's, as you know, service is not just a marketing buzzword. It's really part of the Vincentian charism. And it's not just part of our 150-year-old, almost 150 years we'll be celebrating in 2020, but it goes back 400 years to St. Vincent de Paul and the Congregation of the Mission, who support and sponsor and founded St. John's. And that's really integrated into the curriculum and integrated to the student life for everybody who attends St. John's.
Well, we certainly know that in faith formation in the diocese. So many of the people who are teaching at St. John's and the graduates of St. John's come on to serve in our parishes.
Absolutely. And we have programs like the Catholic Scholar programs. I know you know many of those
Just
students.
going to mention that, yes.
We have scholarships available for those students, which are very competitive, really leadership-based program. We have a $2,500 a year scholarship for students who graduate from a Catholic school.
Wow.
So if you graduate from Catholic school, come to St. John's, $2,500 annually right off the bat. So package that if your parent is a service member.
Exactly right.
You know, now
It
the
starts to add up.
affordability index adds up.
Every little bit counts,
Without a
doesn't
doubt.
it? Yes.
I last year got a nice tour at St. John's, spent a good amount of time there. I have to say, like, the place is beautiful, but in addition to being beautiful, almost like a New England kind of campus, you get that sense of service. You get that sense of faith and community that really, I think as a parent, that would make me feel very comfortable.
It is something we emphasize. We try to emphasize in everything we do, inside the classroom, outside the classroom, for our students who happen to be Catholic or students who are not Catholic. Service is that kind of language that transcends, and it's really an integrated part of the curriculum in life at St. John's.
And when you're standing at the chapel at St. John's, you can look right over to Manhattan.
The New York City skyline.
And isn't that wonderful? It gives you that sense that St. John's is there to serve the whole metropolitan area.
It really is.
And now the nation.
And that's an oasis, the St. Thomas More Church on campus, which really is a place that many students of all different faiths go to find that quiet moment. And, you know, and you're right. We're right there. You know, it's a picturesque campus, but the New York City skyline is looming large.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yes.
And that's what we hope will attract students from across the country to come to New York and come to
Because
St.
now
John's.
you have the potential for them to live on campus.
Absolutely. Our residence halls are almost 20 years old. And,
Are they 20?
Yes, yeah.
I
Time
think
goes fast.
That's
yes.
a good secret, though. It's not all out there yet.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And
Yeah.
it's a great place to be and a lot of
Great.
good things happening. And we appreciate it.
Thanks for coming in. We're glad you came in. Keep us informed of what's cooking.
We absolutely.
Tell President Bobby I said hi, too,
Dr.
please.
Gempisaw sends
Yeah.
his regards, as does Deacon Joe Oliva.
Thank
and,
you.
good luck with your telethon this
Whoa.
weekend.
Thank you.
An
Gonna be a good
important-
one.
Great stuff coming out of Telecare.
Thank you so
Thank
much. So
you.
glad you're with us today. It's great.
Thank you for the time.
Thank
Good.
you.